guys. Let's head to the map screen for set number 2 and get this one right underway. This will be best of 3. Remember, all these sets today are best of 3s. This is a big one, though. Vexed go into this one undefeated. If they can claim their 5th victory here, it won't really matter what happens to them in the 6 weeks. They will be clinched for the EU Xbox side of things.
And going to Frog Isle first, it's going to be Viral's pickup. But honestly, this is a map that I could see Vexed wanting to go to first as well. This is a very strong map for their team.
Okay.
I think I've seen in the past Slopodopolis specifically have some really stellar Kinessa games. I don't know if that's something they'd want to pull out here, but still, knowing that you do have success historically on this map does make it a little bit more awkward. So I'm curious as to what Viral is trying to drive into this to make it sure success for them.
Well, they grabbed the Makoa first, and our Furia is available, as well as both snipers. Vex will grab the Bomb King first, and they will scoop an Inara just to complement it out. So now headed back to Viral. What are we thinking?
I mean, Furia is available, although I'm still, I want to say, like, iffy on her healing. Like, it's just one of those things that does outrageous numbers, but it's so far been very difficult to hit. But that is about where she goes, either in this spot, 3rd on Viral, a 3rd for Vexed. And it's good to take her away from Inara. I think that's really another big combo. It doesn't necessarily matter how much you're healing Fernando and Makoa, as much as it doesn't matter how much Inara healing they are getting.
So this is a big part of it as well, and I like the Willow steal away. So now it doesn't really matter that they don't have Furia. They don't have that super duper anti-heal of 100% pure healing blockage coming out, but it was all Furia and Saris last set. We didn't actually see Maldamba or anyone else for that matter. We saw the Genos the one time, but Maldamba, arguably the biggest yin to the yang that is Furia in the support category, goes unseen.
I actually love the way Viral kind of traverse this, because they get both front lines. Right up front, they say, look, we're going to go double front line. You can go ahead and just deal with that. That's not something that's outlandish right now in this meta, so it's nothing too surprising. And then they wait to get Kinessa way down the line, so there's no sniper on the other side. Vex literally could either go triple DPS with a Maldamba or go for the Ashe, like, to have a second front line. There was no real choice for them.
Well, guys, cast your votes on who you got in this first one. I gotta say, at least on paper, I really like Viral's composition here as well.
Yeah. I think it's a really solid draft for this. Makoa Fernando is very aggressive, but I think a lot of it falls down to, can Kinessa perform? If Kinessa has the worst game of her life, then it doesn't matter what the rest of your draft is. You just have to be fighting a 4v5. So Viral, which is largely considered probably the dark horse of the region, potentially able to bring in something fresh, but a lot of it falling onto the shoulders of this Kinessa to be able to find shots, and big ones at that.
Big ones indeed here. Killer, he grabs himself a Solar Blessing. Furia, Scorch, Fernando, Eagle Eye, Kinessa, Leviathan, as well as Impulse, Nightshade, it looks like Fortress Breaker, Spirit's Chosen, Mother's Grace, and the Royal Subjects for Slopodopolis. Those are the legendary selections. Fortress Breaker, Ashe, where does Yui go? I think he's going to be a big part of keeping a lid on Big Booty Soul, making sure that this Kinessa does not get let off the leash too often and too early. Ashe, such a good aggressive frontliner. You can see her already trying to push up the dangerous side of the map, but already getting dredge anchored right to where she didn't want to be.
And this is probably the worst spot, although Slopodopolis going to be able to find first blood. Big Booty Soul is in exactly where he needs to be, finding some good shots, but as of right now, the double blaster seems to be taking effect and just locking down the rest of Viral.
It does. I mean, part of this sniper and part of what we saw from Envy, actually, kind of like the opposite of how it's happening now, is just with the right front line and the right composition, you can just force the entire fight to happen outside of Kinessa's line of sight. You know where the snipers like to sit. She didn't have anyone to shoot that whole time. Her team just died around her, and there's nothing she could do.
And we've been seeing that a lot, specifically teams like Na'Vi being able to find that, and like you said, we've seen it in North America as well. And here, Viral kind of at that deficit, because everyone knows Frog almost dies to that.
The Oppressor Mine kill.
If Oppressor Mine was able to get a kill like that.
That's funny.
That, I mean, that's immediate top fail. We already know what we're going to have for Esports Weekly next week.
Or is it top play?
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Hey, that's always a good thing for sure. 99% though for Vex Gaming. And look at this Kinessa. Oh my god, talk about aggressive positioning, but easily punished there. Narc just like, what the hell are you doing here? swats that fly out of the sky. Another frag on a Sibs EU. Slopodopoulos gets the King Bomb charged up. I don't know if he's going to live long enough to actually launch that. Makoa's on his case, but the payload has already been captured, and Slopodopoulos will not fall. He's going to stand on his own 2 feet, 10 toes down as he now pushes into enemy territory.
I like the idea that the conversation there was that Kinessa needs to be in window. Doesn't necessarily matter whose window. She just needs to be in window somewhere on Frog Isle.
That's funny.
Viral maybe get a little bit too aggressive, bite off a little bit too much. And now they're in this position. 2 minutes left, 50% of the push. This is a relatively short push on Frog Isle, but if it goes by this quickly, I mean, Kinessa, it doesn't really matter where you're standing up. Sibs is not going to be able to have his Cassie game even at this rate.
He's been pretty non-impact. Look at that death again. Big Booty Soul, what the hell are you doing out there? Whitey manages to answer on a Slopodopoulos. This is a nice angle to the back line, and 2 frags for Sibs EU. No one's even looking at him. He's just shooting people in the back of the head at this point. No answer for the Cassie, who found her way to trouble. 1:30 on the clock, though. Now for Vexed Gaming to go home, spend some credits. Not a big deal that they lost that fight there. Now they get to actually cement that 300 credit lead from the payload.
The best part of having a quiet game is the fact that no one on the other team thinks you're as big of a threat as you are. And it's still Cassie, so as long as Sibs can find positioning like that, then I feel like this game can go in their favor. But I'm still looking at Big Booty Soul. I'm looking at where Sibs and the rest of the team has been and whether or not they can actually make a big change in their style of play, because it's just been kill after kill for Vexed.
That was such a funny chain of mistakes there. Makoa dredge anchors Ash in, who then gets knocked off the map by Bomb King and Ash knockback. And then Ash just like, hell yeah, dude, let's hit it. She shoulder charges up the ramp into a Pyre Strike and then just gets fragged out from there. And Sibs, from pretty much the same spot, just gets to pick up another 2 kills. And another victory here for Team Viral, with only 30 seconds left on the clock here for Vex to make something happen in round number 1.
A lot of progress really early on for Vex, but they have just not been able to crack this shell since then. It's been a very good hold overall, but it all comes down to one big play. Sibs went from essentially a quiet game to a 6 streak in just a matter of a few seconds as far as things go. A couple minutes, I think, to get the latter 3, but patience coming here for Viral is at least going to give them some room to play with.
Last couple of seconds on the clock now. Fernando falling lower and lower, and everyone from Vex Gaming is basically 100% HP. Big Booty Soul, you've got to hit some shots. This is your time to shine. Everyone has to come down the runway here, just running into your scope. A couple of shots missing here. 3 shots in this clip. Kinessa can only take about 5 shots before she needs to reload. And this is not looking good so far. These shots need to swat these guys out of the sky. It's Whitey. Finds the first frag that may stabilize this for Viral, and they will. 1-1 now on the scoreboard as we head into the second round.
Because of Big Booty Soul scooping in right there, I had the exact same experience I think he did, which was, wait, where did that Willow I was just looking at disappear to? And overall, Boink. This was the unfortunate sequence of events. A knockoff into a stun, into your death. So Yui being able to pick up a couple kills, lose a couple kills.
Hey, easy come, easy go, I suppose.
But still, having a pretty good performance here for Vexed.
15 seconds.
Recently picked up Slopodopoulos as well. Having an okay game, although no big, like, crazy amounts of kills. It's just been the damage that is in favor of Vexed.
5.
Sibs EU, quietly 8-2. He picked up 3 in that first fight, like you mentioned, in a matter of seconds, and then 2 more in the next. It's Big Booty Soul for me that's sitting 0-2-4 and needs to step up. Especially on those payload pushes. You know, it's nice to have your Kinessa the whole round, but I think, you know, Vex have done a good job of taking these fights outside of her her territory, so to speak. Big Booty Soul now under suppression from Ash. Yui is just commanding the backline here, but how much can you really ask of him?
Slopodopoulos running away during the King Bomb. Not going to be able to find too much off of that one, but still looking for some pressure where you lose both front lines. You lose your support as well. 2 blasters don't mean anywhere near as much if they don't have the front line to really hold the line for them. And so both Slopodopoulos and World E going to be sitting back here and just waiting.
Couldn't really decide how they wanted to use ultimates either. You saw, I think Yui honestly doing the best job there. He was not only putting pressure on the Kinessa, but had the rest of the back line sort of locked down as well. Now it'll be the assert dominance onto the objective. Seismic Crash stuns Fernando out of his shield. Look at all these low HP targets. Someone's got to capitalize on this. Don't get too distracted with Makoa. Ancient Rage buying so much time, and Makoa just turning this fight around for his team. I think it's Whitey he just won this fight for his squad by keeping everyone distracted.
And honestly, at this point, you kill off this Bomb King, that might just seal the deal. Beautiful stun shot combo, but that's going to come through 84%. And they're forcing Ash to run away. They're forcing Willow to stay back. No one on Vexed can really apply pressure to this point.
I mean, he was, you know, that's why it's tough to commit on Makoa, right? He pops that Ancient Rage, and then you just realize the mistake that you made. I think if they could have somehow put aggression onto that backline there, Vexed Gaming could have capitalized on all those low HP targets. Team Viral, though, they stay alive. They turn it around off the back of its Whitey's Ancient Rage. Can't dredge anchor this Willow out of the sky. Can't hit some shots either, apparently. As World Edit trying to turn around things on the Willow ultimate, getting a lot of good damage out, but no kills.
Narc UE finally going to be able to put their names on the board, trying to find Hamish, and finally they're going to be able to get rid of him. But Viral, again, another team that has gone from relatively quiet. I think a lot of people expected a lot of them because it's players that have been around for a while. They just haven't played in a long time until recently. So kind of a dark horse, a lot of success in the past, but nothing to really pick them up right here. And being able to have this kind of performance against Vex is stellar for them, but at the same time, maybe a little bit too late in the split.
I'll have to see. Too little, too late. Vexed Gaming, the squad that has represented EU Xbox since basically the dawn of time. Inflame and Shellspin move Whitey into a nice position here. Try and grab this support before he goes around the corner, out of range of the hook. Whitey won't even launch it. 1 minute on the clock. Still potential here for Team Viral to get this one converted. They've got a couple of ultimates to work with. Vex have a couple to defend with, and they're going to actually have to spend one right off the rip.
Good shots. Knockback is actually going to be perfect for Vex. If they can just keep Ash out of that circle, then her health bar will continue to fall. But unfortunately, that's not going to be enough for them. Like you said, a beautiful wall from Narc. World Edit finds two,
Holy
and
crap.
now the pressure's right back on for Viral.
I mean, that's massive. That is really, really big lockdown there on the two targets. Wings of Wrath connect. And the slow, sad demise of a Stone Spear death here. Flirting with Fernando's life. He gets juiced back up to full HP, but these zones here, this is more aggressive really than we see any team zone on Frog Isle here. We'll see if it ends up costing Vexed Gaming anything. Nara at the moment is staying alive. And it looks like it's going to be successful here. I mean, very aggressive zones on the defense from Team Viral. They're trying to score that point though. Or Vexed Gaming, excuse me.
Viral are just locked down. There's like no chance to be able to touch that payload again. That is Vexed having a very, very gorgeous round, at least in terms of zoning. Towards the end of it, ult's going to be back in their favor, but they didn't really use them that well last time around. I'm curious to see Vexed coming into this round. Can you hit the King Bomb? Can you make a big difference with these big team fight ultimates?
Unfortunately, they don't have assert dominance. That one was used. So I was going to say, I feel like the easiest way to win this fight for Vexed Gaming is just send Yui to the back line under the assumption that he might be a little bit alone. Send him with assert dominance if that's what it takes. Because Sibs EU goes from 8-2 to, I believe, 15-4 at the end of that round. Big Booty Soul goes from 0-2 to 0-5, so still struggling on the Kinessa to find any type of frags. So I think you head to the back line, you shut down what's causing you problems. It's this Cassie. And Ash is the perfect girl for the job.
Narc doing whatever he can to try and hold on to this, but Yui immediately into the back, and this is perfect for him. Again, holding this angle, at least trying to keep him down. Almost finds a good King Bomb off of it, but that's going to be an Ancient Rage popped in retaliation. The CC immunity going to be good, maybe even a kill.
Trying to just stay away from Makoa here. One more shot would do it, but the body blocks. Enough to keep It's Whitey from getting the kill, but not enough to keep Sibs EU from grabbing the kill there. 54% for Vexed Gaming, despite losing that fight. And a lot of ultimates used from either squad. You have to say, that's really not a terrible outcome for Vexed.
I mean, as long as they can come back in, they have 2-3 big ults that could retake a point for them, especially with how fast it's moving up. This is the reason that when you look at like the last set, comeback mechanic is really important. OTP, there were a lot of points that they captured because there was a comeback mechanic in their favor, and you can kind of play to that. But because this is evil, Viral, they're having to go out of their way for a zone. They have to hope assert dominance as well as the seismic crash just don't cause them any trouble. But that's going to be the Jet Serpent, and that's going to kick things off.
Immortal trying to survive the onslaught that is Team Vex, coming in with all of their ultimates. World Edit finds 2. World Edit finds 3 here. World Edit might find 4. Yui's going to steal that one away. And with plenty of ultimates in hand, but still some to go around, Vex Gaming take back the objective. They had a 54% lead when they lost the fight, so they come back in, they take that quick little victory, and they're off to the races with their second payload of the game.
And now, again, the zone. This is what it looked like earlier when they were able to grab the first point. The question is whether or not they can hold it a little bit longer. 100% coming up, a couple of ults, Fae Flight, Assert Dominance, as well as the King Bomb available one more time. And if they use them properly, that's the perfect time to grab the point. If they can convert this, they can win the game.
Slopodopolis finds a couple more. 2 people dead right now for Viral, and the payload consistently rolling through. Has Knessa managed to get a kill yet? I mean, that's been a big hole in this composition for Team Viral, in my opinion. That if your sniper is not going to have any impact on this game in terms of driving kills home, it's going to be hard to warrant wanting to take that ever again. Slopodopolis, got to be careful where you launch these King Bombs from. He goes on a roundabout route and ends up dying there. And maybe giving Big Booty Soul like his first kill of the game.
And is that awkward moment, especially with where he launched it? He has 2 kills. So with where he launched it, Slopodopolis was in line of sight of Big Booty Soul. Like, it was one of those things that you're trying to play to the walls around you, but Knessa just had to take a step to the right to be able to see you. And I think that's where a lot of that damage initially came from. That plus Cassie typically means you would die charging the ult. Luckily enough, you did get it off, but unluckily, you use your ult without being able to find too much. Big Booty Soul picking up a couple of kills, and that is the difference maker.
I was going to say, this is your moment, Knessa. You got to shut World Edit down so he doesn't grab another triple kill. World Edit still did, I believe, get one. Seismic Crash stuns out 2. The wall goes up to try and trap in Knessa, but she manages just to squeak out at the last possible second. Payload is moving. It's making its way down towards its destination, and Yui has a really nice line to the back line here. I think you pressure out Knessa and Cassie. Yui, don't get distracted with the front line. Yes, head to the back line, brother. Tear things up. Those are all the lethal members, but look at this. They don't need Cassie. They don't need Knessa. Both of the front lines actually locking it down for Viral, and they will clean up the fight without help from the back line.
Slopodopolis sitting far back. World Edit unfortunately dead right now, so you're waiting for your team to regroup, but you have 10 seconds. If you can get in, you can hold on. But it's going to be so difficult to get here not dismounted. You have to get around, but look at Ash just running right up the hill.
She doesn't give a damn about it. 1 second left on the clock, and Nara just barely gets in range of the payload to contest. But Vex Gaming have already lost someone. Gore, can they really 4v5 this? They've got a couple of ultimates here. They've got a big one in Assert Dominance as well. Yui could be the solo front line that Vex need to get this success. Look at this, 98%. That Dread Serpent blasts the last 10% charge through. Lexizen is finding so much ult charge in this fight. Could use it. Could look to stay alive here. Will hit the fear onto Fernando. Slither for his life. Lexi doesn't... I mean, that's a beautiful little dance there down the stretch to make it work. And Vex Gaming will claim Frog Isle.
A few good kills as well as just good ultimate use toward the end. And that's the thing, Vex, there was one round where they just started off. It's very sloppy ults. They end up losing the fight and the point because of it. That was what I was looking at for the rest of the game. Like, how are you using these ults? King Bomb, I think twice at least that we saw, didn't hit anybody. So you need to find those towards the tail end. They finally started picking that up, but a lot of it was on the back of Lexi.
King Bomb is the new Dragon Punch, I suppose, in this set. We'll head to the second map of the day here for our best of 3. It'll be Jaguar Falls. Vex Gaming, remember that was Viral's pick, I believe, right? So they steal away the pick, so to speak. Vex Gaming now head to where they feel the most comfortable, and you have to imagine, as the undefeated team in this region on their map pick, we'll be able to put this set away here. Willow's the first ban, Kogug banned quickly after there from Viral. Still not getting to see the Ninja come through.
I think he is the most banned champion on console.
It's gotta be.
Because he's just, I mean, the week he was released and every single game pretty much since then, he has not been allowed. Either way, it's going to be big for Bomb King and Makoa because of it.
Here's the thing, though. You said PS4 is played on 1.6, right? So not only do they get the new aim settings, but they get the adjustments.
They also get the claws.
They get the adjustments to Koga as well. The claws, Master of Arms getting nerfed to 50%. Is that enough to warrant letting Koga through? You'll have to stay tuned for the PS4 segments of today to find out. Makoa, Cassie, Torvald for Vex Gaming, Bomb King, and Nara, Vivian for Viral. A hell of a lot of firepower out of that right-hand side draft.
I mean, being able to find a lot of Nara Furia is a great combo, Vivian, Bomb King. So you're looking probably for a second frontline as that last pick for Viral, but Pip, of all people, going to be coming through, and it's not I mean, I like it. I love Pip on this map. I think he can perform really well. It's just something we don't get to see often.
Fairly low damage composition here from Vexed, and they don't draft anything that's like, you know, Torvald Andro, Torvald Talus. Now we do always
Torvald Pip, new combo.
we do always point out that Torvald plus anything really is still strong.
Yeah.
Torvald Cassie is going to work out just fine. You still get that bonus damage. No one's upset to have bonus damage or an extra 2,000 effective HP. I think Torvald Makoa is actually fairly effective. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Makoa is already such a bully. You throw the bubble on him and extra damage, that problem becomes a whole lot worse. Who do you guys think is going to win this one, though? Go ahead and cast your votes in the Mixer poll right now in chat. I gotta say, on paper, again, Viral looks very, very good on paper here. But in practice, it's Vexed Gaming. They're up on their map pick. They've been undefeated this whole split long, and I don't see them going down now.
Good draft, although Torvald, I think, is the one that draws the most question marks from me, just because of, like you
Agreed.
said, he's good,
Agreed.
but it doesn't feel like there's anything that's going to kind of abuse the bubble, I guess is the best way to word it, where it's just no one's going to dive in, no one needs it.
I guess, yeah, exactly. That's what we mean, and why we're having this conversation, is that Torvald normally is there to allow you to run champions that otherwise have very glaring weaknesses that really just can't be accounted for or can't be compensated for elsewhere in a composition, right? When you look at, and most of the time it ends up being flanks, and that's what the bubble brings, right? It's that survivability that is the most effective in these fights. So when you have a Torvald, it opens the door to be able to run things, I don't know, like an Eevee, like an Andro, things that are otherwise very squishy or take a lot of execution threshold to pull off.
Looking for a confident setup. World Edit has to have a good performance on this Pip, I think, to make it worthwhile, but so far, no one's looking at him, and I think that's honestly the best gift you could ever have as a Pip, because it makes your job so easy.
I love watching good Pip players, man. It's just crazy to watch World Edit zip around this map, hitting every single shot. I mean, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. I think when you combine Catalyst and Field Study, I think Pip ends up hitting for like 1,008 damage. Like, it's actually pretty crazy the amount of DPS this little rat can pump out when he is given the appropriate tools. 72% for Vexed Gaming. And look at this, 62% already for Evil Mojo.
I mean, being able to hold this up, that's probably one of the better ults in the game when it comes to in terms of control that it can give, as well as kill ability, if that's even a word, what you can do to Viral.
I like it.
If you can get 3-4 of them in that Evil Mojo. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you can just pressure out the entire team to the point where Viral doesn't even know what the point looks like.
And look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Pyre striked out in line of sight of Vivian. Any character in the lineup is dead on arrival if that happens. But no, Torvald bubbles him out, gets a big heal from Furia, and that Pip stays alive. And Pip is not a very common champion, right? It's playing against this character is not an experience that you often have to deal with. Double Evil Mojo comes out, 1 chicken fried, 2 chicken fried. World Edit is being his own follow-up at the moment, and possibly the very reason that Vexed Gaming are absolutely steamrolling Viral here on Jaguar Falls.
And now, difficult to even leave the base. Killer G kind of locked there. It's Whitey going to come out, but I mean, this is not a place you really want to be in. And 31% already recharged on this Evil Mojo. He's getting ult percent like it's nothing, control like it's nothing, damage like it's nothing.
Oh, Narc does not pop the Ancient Rage here. Is this the first fight that Team Viral will be able to win? Solar Blessing comes through, keeping Fernando nice and healthy. That was almost a sub-3-minute round. That is so insanely fast for Vexed Gaming to have almost converted. They may still, Vexed Gaming, push it through at just over 3 minutes. I mean, this is looking crazy. There are very few games that I have in recent memory with a sub-6-minute pace. 6 minutes is usually like, that is the benchmark of this team got stomped out. But right now, Vexed Gaming almost setting an even faster pace.
4-0-3, 2-0-2, 7-0-4, and 006. Narc the only one to die, and admittedly, that's exactly what you want. One of your front lines, and the one that's in the front the most, is the one that died. Torvald stayed alive, so the bubble uptime is there. The heal uptime from Lexi is always there. And the damage from Soplodopoulos and World Edit has been on point the entire time. 7-0-4 on Pip is big.
It's huge.
I honestly think Moxie, when you look at the scenarios like you saw earlier where he's getting stunned, then Torvald bubble comes through, he just doesn't die.
Yeah, he can heal himself back up very, very effectively. World Edit putting the character on display for us in a beautiful manner here. The absolute clinic of Pip. You'll see this heal come through. Look at that, 900 despite the anti-heal happening as well. Evil Mojo, it's gotta be, and it will come out. But where's the follow-up? All the chickens are under the Solar Blessing. Fernando's already popped out of it. World Edit doesn't really get what he wanted, but I have to say Vexed Gaming overall feel like they still get what they wanted.
You die, but you die for the team. So at the end of the day, it's still going to be worthwhile. 11% recharged off the Evil Mojo, so not exactly, like you said, his stellar performance, but still being able to find that creates a lot of pressure for Vexed, and that makes it so easy to get this. They're up 3-0, and considering how long that first map went for them, this is a surprising turnaround.
That was Vexed Gaming, though, stealing away Viral's map because they were like the better team. This is Vexed Gaming, the better team, steamrolling their own map. And still, I think, a good engagement from Pip overall. I think it was a bit unfortunate that Bomb King was coming up over that wall the exact same time that he was coming up over the wall. So World Edit kind of dove 1v3 in there, so he didn't make it out when it was all said and done. But like we said, the follow-up was still there, just not from him. He needed his teammates that time around. Big Booty Soul finds 2 kills to kind of quiet down Vexed Gaming, at least for a moment.
King Bomb charged up, and that's going to be the big thing, especially when you have fast rounds. I feel like we don't get to mention this as often anymore, but ult charge for Vexed is going to come up like it's nothing because they're just winning heavily.
Yeah.
Viral didn't really get their ults up until now. Now they're trying to figure out, how do we use this Inflame? How do we use this King Bomb? Unfortunately, they just don't have a good position where they feel like it has to be used defensively, especially if Vexed just keep up this onslaught.
So many kills coming through right now. You're just hearing the constant fire from Vivian, but you're not seeing any kills for Team Viral. Big Booty Soul falls down. Vivian, the only one that's able to survive that fight. Long-range poke coming out here from Slopodopolis on a 13 streak. The payload has broken the base. Vexed Gaming, they have 1 ultimate to work with, but they only need 1 more point, Gore.
From what could have been the longest Frog Isle game I've sat through to what looks like it could be a conversion right here. Hyper Beam is going to make this easy to continue pushing this payload in. Now the ults are being popped. Vexed are in control.
Poor guy, they're getting stunned out of just about every attempt he had. Silencing out the Bomb King. Yui just trying to stay alive, but Narc's already found 2. Lexi even throws his name into the pool, finding a stun on the objective as well. Lexi Zen, the support player, he was clutch down the stretch of game 1. He was clutch down the stretch of game number 2. And Vexed Gaming, big congratulations to them. That's the 5-0 mark for them. They are clinched for the console wars.
And I'll say it again because I just got to see it only for 6 minutes, but I loved the Pip. I think it looked really good right there, and I feel like that's something that other teams could look at. I feel like that's something Vex has always kind of kept in their pocket. They always have that Pip, kind of like G2. They always have that Pip when they need it, and when it comes out, it looks stellar.
I like it because it's that catalyst support. It's like the DPS. It's like random noob spit more than like cusses. G2 always sort of ran it as the support, which worked, albeit, and got nerfed almost immediately after G2 finally got to get it running. But I like the DPS pip as well. 5-0 for Vexed Gaming here. PS4 for Europe. Flashpoint is the one to watch. They are the ones that are looking to clinch as well. It's a big moment for them. That is a team that has always represented that region as well. So we'll have to see if the trends continue here. That does it for our first 2 sets of the day. My name has been Pretty Air. That's Goremizer. We're going to go on a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Console League action.